So a lot of you spoke, but not everyone. So I'd like to just, for the people who haven't been around for a while, just say a few words about what some of you are doing. Linnea, who organized a lot of this, has been doing some amazing work on electron microscopy and the spine apparatus and showing how the cytoskeleton actually moves into the spine during learning and all this protein synthesis stuff going on at the spine and synapse, and she's got some just beautiful, amazing data, and hopefully you've seen it at meetings, or will hopefully soon see it in papers.
She also did a great job today. So
yes, definitely a great job. And Hillary is working on an alternative route of that norepinephrine may be signaling things. It's through something called EPAC, which would be an alternative to going through PKA. And she's got promising results behaviorally, and she's also got some electrophysiological data, but it's still a work in progress. And so Rochelle is also only recently arrived and from Brazil, and she's going to be doing some early gene expression using that as a marker. We've had some trouble getting that to work well in the lab, and her expertise is going to help us get it right so we can finally have it as a major tool. Torfi was in the lab previously, and his work was on in vivo LTP, and his paper is coming out on Monday, right? Is that right?
January.
Oh, January. Okay, I thought it was. Oh, no, that's right. We just got the figure. So it's coming out very soon, but we're glad to see that paper finally coming out. Torfi is now at Columbia, and I think things are going well there. You're with Josh, right? Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
Yep. And Seville is now with Denis Perret still.
Yes.
And she played a big role in Kareem studies, as Kareem talked about. Kariana is doing wonderful work on individual differences, not in fear, but in memory consolidation using fear conditioning. And it's a very interesting set of studies she's got going. Who else do we have? Joanna is a new person in the lab. She's a technician. She's working with Chris on all the avoidance stuff. Koichi is a visitor from Japan. He's done some counterintuitive but really exciting studies of CRF in the amygdala. Gabriel is doing work with Chris on these various things. Luke, you all know, has done work on the anatomy and physiology of the lateral amygdala, and he's got a big story we're still waiting to get it out there in the press. Some of it is out now, but we still have a lot to come out. Mariah Morgan is the queen of extinction. She invented fear extinction in 1992, and it's great to see her again. Liz, everybody? Oh, Lorenzo, sorry. Lorenzo is from Valencia, and as Paco said, they met actually in Valencia when I went there, so they didn't know each other before that. So you get to know someone. And Marie is now at the University of Texas at Austin. She had this amazing paper that many of you probably heard of that came out in Science last spring on combining extinction and reconsolidation. And together with Daniela and Liz, they just published the human version of that, which came out this week. Here, that's in the current lab, is Josh Johansson, who was from Tad Blair's lab. Josh had to go to his father's birthday. I think it's his 60th also. And Josh has been working on using light-activated molecules to induce fear conditioning. He's got great results. Like many of the stories you guys have told, he just got reviews, and the reviewers are not happy, but we'll find a good home for that paper as well. And Robert may also do a little work with Josh to combine some of his molecular skills. Okay, so when we started this morning, Linnea had run off to get a laser pointer, right? And so she didn't get to give her opening remarks, so she's going to give her closing remarks.
I'm not sure we need so many remarks since we've had so many, but I want to thank all of you for coming. I'm absolutely thrilled, and I think I speak for everyone in saying that it's just been tremendously exciting to have you all here, especially for those of us who are more recent lab members to get to meet some of these legendary names in the flesh. The buzz of excitement that went through the room when it was revealed that Liz Romanski in the flesh was present, and you could go have your picture taken with her.
I'm not that old yet.
Me neither.
Well, she's still photogenic.
Me too.
And Joe, of course, take advantage now. But it's very exciting to see all of the people who've generated all of these wonderful papers that we all cite and we all know by heart in many cases. And I hope this tradition continues in the future. So the next generation of postdocs can organize next time. Thank you all for coming.
Let me just want to say a very brief thing in closing. It's, of course, great to have you all here. It's been wonderful to see everyone and see everybody back together, if only temporarily. And I was trying to think of something, what can I say is like these great words of wisdom. The only thing I could think of, or the only thing I really want to say is that, and this has come up sometimes in writing papers, a student or a postdoc will come in with the paper and introduce the topic in a way that's relevant to the field, but not to the lab, and then the lab would kind of come in as part of the paper. And my comment when that happens is always to, work with your strengths, right? So put this in our context and let the rest of it emerge out of what we're talking about. And I think this is, something I've tried to do in my research and life in general. For example, in Chris's paper, Chris's work on avoidance, what we're doing is working from the point of view of what we've learned about fear conditioning to study avoidance. We're not trying to just jump into avoidance. So I think in a lot of things that you do, it's very useful to say, what am I good at? And how can I use that to take the next step? Rather than, many of you will get bored in science or with the particular science you're doing, and you want to do something different. So ask yourself, how can I do that different thing while using what I've done already? Just another example, all my music stuff, we're not great musicians, we're just kind of regular old guitar players, and I'm a terrible singer, but we're building on what we have, which is the amygdala, our friend, and our science reputation. And as Jennifer said last night, we're on the verge of this major distribution thing, which only happens because we're building from the science into the music. I mean, if we just went out and tried to make a record on our own, it would be laughed at as a real record. But, we have a chance of doing something with that. So, whatever you're doing, just ask yourself, what are you good at, and how to parlay that into the next step, rather than just throwing it all away and starting all over. And we'll have a test case for that because we'll see what's happening. So, Michael Rogan, who was in our lab and then went to the Candell lab and then ran the Huntington's Foundation for a while. And recently I just wrote recommendations for him, and he's coming back to NYU to do a master's in social work.
Wow.
And he wants to be a therapist, so maybe in a way he's found a way to parlay his experience in fear into the next career move rather than doing the other stuff he was doing. Okay, again, let's thank Linnea and thank you all for coming, and it's been great, and we'll see you again tonight. Everybody know where to go? Great.
Also, just one last thing. Joe asked me to make a sign-up sheet of people want to sign the area that they don't want him to do research for the next time.
So I'm trying to solve that problem by keeping Chris here as well. All right, good. Thanks.